All right, we ready? Should we jump right in?
Let's jump in.
All right, welcome back to the Prison Wallets. We're several episodes into our new run. We're two fucking dumb dickheads sit around and watch movies. How you doing, Ray?
Dumb dickhead.
And I'm Keith, and what we're doing this time, which is great for me, is we're mostly watching. Sometimes we're watching stuff that I know, but a lot of it is stuff I don't know. Because I've noticed this is kind of a thing on YouTube and stuff now. It's like, I've never heard Stone Temple Pilots before. Oh my God, what a good band, or just whatever. Like, it's valuable to not know something that everyone else knows. So we're kind of doing that with movies, where I'm just like, I don't have to research. I don't have to know shit. I'm just like, I don't know. I never saw this movie. And then I can just say what I thought about it.
And I've seen everything. So,
Yeah, it wouldn't work on your end, for sure.
It's very rare that these days I'm shocked or surprised by a movie.
Yeah, I mean, and then it's usually for good reason, because it's like fucking haunt season. And you're like, there's a reason why I didn't know what that fucking shitty movie was.
Although, we went to see, my wife and I, we went to see The Monkey over the weekend, directed by Osgood Perkins, who is the son of Anthony Perkins, who was the lead in Psycho. And man, what a fun fucking movie. Just a lot of fun, yeah.
That's always weird, too, being the kid of somebody. Like, I think it maybe helps initially get your foot in the door, but it might be worse in the long run, because you're always going to be compared to your famous ass dad or mom or whoever. It's a tough situation to be in.
I mean, yes and no, because I mean, really, like the newer movie going crowd, they don't know who fucking Anthony Perkins is.
Yeah.
Like, they just don't. It's just like Jason Ritter. No one fucking remembers John Ritter except for people who grew up in our era.
Right. And all we do is talk about him all the time.
I fucking like John Ritter. He's awesome.
Listen to our other podcast, Rittercast, where we watch every single. That doesn't exist in this dimension, but in some Sliders dimension, that's what we're doing.
It's not a real thing.
Yeah.
So this week, or for this episode, we're watching a movie by Adam Wingard called You're Next. The only other movie I know of that he did is called The Guest, and I haven't seen The Guest, although it's something I'm looking forward to seeing eventually. And I really don't know any of the actors in this movie except for Joe Swanberg and, of course, Barbara Crampton, who was in one of our favorite movies, Reanimator.
Yeah, man, Reanimator. Reanimator's so good. Man.
But this movie is what brought Barbara Crampton out of retirement from doing horror movies. So, like, she did a bunch of horror movies, and then, she did soap operas for a long time, and then she kind of just didn't do much of anything for a little bit. Some soap operas here or there, this or that. But then this was offered to her, and she really liked it. So since then, she's been in, like, a lot of movies. Like, she's been in, maybe on the low end, a dozen, but I'm sure it's a lot more than that.
That's one thing I could briefly yammer about is I respect the Scream Queen. I think that's a respectable career path. And I'm going to recommend right now, if you ever hear this podcast, random celebrity, this is not going to happen, you should go down this path. So there's this girl, Francesca Capaldi, who was like one of these child actors, was successful as a kid in Disney shows or whatever. Now she's a grown-up. She's hot as hell, has no career. None. Just like nobody gives an F about this chick. She was in this horror movie last year called Night at Terrace Lanes or something. It was in a bowling alley, and just some guy kills a bunch of people at the bowling alley, and it was god awful, terrible movie. But she was in it with a tight shirt and was hot, and it's like, just do that. Like, just do it. It's fine. Don't keep trying to be a real actress. It's not gonna fucking happen. No one cares about your career. Just be in horror movies because you're hot. That is fine, and I would watch them all.
But I mean, Barbara Crampton's track record really speaks for itself. I mean, she was in Reanimator, she was in Chopping Mall, she was in fucking From Beyond, she was in that. That was a really good one as well. And then, not much else after that. Soap operas,
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, not everybody can be fucking Dame Judi Dench or whatever. I don't know why that name came to mind. Who's a famous actress? Naomi Watts? Why is that name? I can't think of anybody famous. But you don't have to be them, is my point. You can be in the C grade. It's fine. It's a good life. And it just makes everybody happier to just be in these cool movies.
Yeah, I mean, everything Barbara Crampton's in I've enjoyed. So, I mean, there's no real weak links. And I've got a bunch of her, like, newer movies, and I really enjoy those as well. But Joe Swanberg, I don't fucking know who he is. I don't remember him, but I do know of him, and he's in this movie as well. It's a interesting story. You'll like it, I think. So I like that you're going in blind because the twists and turns in the movie really add to it.
It is fun too. Like it's hard sometimes to not know anything about something, to just go in blind. It's not my favorite movie ever, but I went to see It Follows in the theater because my friend was going, and he literally was just like, "Hey, I'm going to this movie. Do you want to go?" And I didn't know anything about it. And I mean, ultimately, that movie's got a lot of pacing problems and it's kind of weird, but the basic premise of just the thing that keeps walking at you till you die is very cool. And I had no fucking, I didn't even know it was a horror movie. I didn't know anything. And that's such a nice, it's a fun thing that's hard to do. I didn't see a trailer. I didn't know nothing. So yeah, let's do that again because it's a good place to be at.
It's a lot of fun. This movie, You're Next, I had a standard Blu-ray for it. Came with I think a DVD as well. And then I upgraded to the Second Sight special limited edition, which is like a really nice set. Second Sight puts out some of the best physical media, in my opinion, these days. Like I've got several movies from that company. They put 110% into every release, and this one's no different. Although we're not watching the disc because I haven't yet opened that. We're going to watch it off of my digital copy I bought on iTunes.
Yeah, that's handy too, right? You can keep things pristine and still have the physical copy and have both. By the way, when I said Dame Judi Dench, I was thinking Helen Mirren and I couldn't think of her name. And when I said Naomi Watts, I was thinking Nicole Kidman and I couldn't think of her name. So I was going to say things that made some kind of fucking sense, but I just couldn't think of anyone's name.
Yeah, because I don't remember Judi Dench when she was younger, but I remember Helen Mirren when she
Yeah.
was younger.
Yeah, for real. What was that? Caligula? Oh, man.
Was she in Caligula?
Apparently, according to A to Z nudes.com, you can see her pussy in that movie. I've never seen it, but I don't know how I happen to know that, but all right, let's kick it off.
Can I ask you something? How did you learn all this stuff?
Well, I had kind of a weird childhood. I grew up on a survivalist compound. I haven't even told Crispin that yet.
Good answer.
Well, I guess when I was born, my dad got kind of paranoid. He was just convinced that the world was going to run out of resources in a matter of years. He found a lot of guys who agreed with him, and we all moved to the outback. Basically, if things got too overpopulated, even out there, he wanted me to be able to take care of myself. Moved to the States with Mum when I was 15, but I learned a lot beforehand.
Wow. That's crazy.
See, I think our run of sweet movies has continued. That movie was pretty fucking cool.
I've seen this a couple times before, and I really liked it, but this is your first go at it.
Yeah, well, I was going to say too with those visuals, because I do think that's one of the easiest ways for a movie, especially a horror movie, to be bland. Like, I'm going to shit on fucking Haunt Season again. But Haunt Season was like overlit. But for a horror movie, it's better. It's better for things to look kind of fucked up. And I liked it. I've never seen a movie quite this style of just like it was a little much sometimes, or even at the dinner scene at the start, it was so dark. It's like these people would have a hard time seeing their fucking food. Why is it so dark? But as a stylistic choice, it is cool.
Yeah, it really works well. And the cast was so good. I enjoyed everyone that was in this movie for the most part. I mean, everyone sort of did what they were supposed to do. Like the little wiener guy who can't handle violence, and Barbara Crampton as the matriarch who everything seems to make her scared or upset for as long as she's alive.
Right.
And, you get the dickhead brother, you've got the boyfriend played by Ty West for briefly, who's like this a filmmaker. Everyone just did their roles the way they should have.
I even liked, I mean, with Barbara Crampton's character, that like she hears a sound upstairs and because you just know that, like you know it in your bones, you know the sound of a person walking upstairs in your house. And she just immediately was like, there is someone in the house, I'm getting out of here. Like it was a surprisingly realistic reaction where a lot of times people in horror movies are very dopey, you know?
And the husband, of course, was like, oh no, I'll go check it out. Luckily at that point, nothing happened to the guy. But she was right by going like, I'm not fucking staying in here. And he was wrong by going, just give me this little hammer thing and I'll go up and check it out. I'll be safe.
And I guess, I mean, we're going to talk about the movie now. So if anybody doesn't want stuff spoiled, I mean, in general, I assume people that watch our reviews probably already know these movies, but just to warn you ahead of time. So I was thinking, especially as I watched it, like it is weird with horror movies. Well, like with the first Terrifier, I liked that nobody survived, or the one person that did survive didn't really survive. And I'm fine with that most of the time. I don't need a survivor. So in this movie, I was thinking, like, who am I going to care about? Because I definitely don't care about this hoity toity family. I hope they all get killed. And I thought it was neat how it turned out that that was actually important to the plot, that the reason this was happening is so that the youngest son could get his inheritance money. He had to kill his family. So they had to be a fancy pants hoity toity family or they wouldn't have any money. And then how they made the one dude's girlfriend, the survivalist from Australia, she just really turned around where it's like, yeah, I like this person. I do want her to make it. And she did. So everything turned out perfectly.
Yeah. As far as spoilers go, though, this is from 2011. So if you haven't seen it, then fucking nuts to you. Like,
Yeah,
figure it out.
I'm generally not at all concerned about spoiling stuff at all, but I just figured, I don't know, I guess I should mention it just in case.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, yeah, it's like I don't feel like it's even the kind of movie that you necessarily watch for the twist because it's either going to be, I mean, really this was a pretty good reason for this bunch of murders to happen, or it could have just been random acts of violence and that would have been fine too, you know. But you definitely watch it for the filmmaking and the cinematography and the kills, not the actual plot, I'd say.
And I like that the assassins that were hired by the two youngest sons, there was like a normal sized female, and then there was like these three or four like hulking dudes wearing like these farm animal masks, like a lamb, a wolf, a sheep, like that sort of stuff. And it looked cool because, I mean, not that you get to see too much of what they look like aside from some glimpses of the masks, but they're wearing sort of like dark army fatigue style, trappings. And then the sheep mask, like that sort of stuff. So, the contrast of those masks with what they're wearing for combat style, I guess, activity, it really worked well. And it's so funny that these two little dicks hired these hulking guys and that 115, 125 pound girl like totally wasted everybody.
Yeah, it kind of turned around. So, well, first off, I was impressed with how fast the shit hit the fan and that so many people died right in the first assault. And I was like, all right, cool, this movie kicked off pretty quick. But it did seem like it kind of made sense. Like the people attacking the house, they were on top of it at first. But then once that first volley ran out, like, yeah, you could just feel that they didn't have a good plan. So it was like kind of believable that this lady could get the drop on them, that she could do it.
Yeah, and there wasn't anything unrealistic about this movie aside from sort of maybe the one kill near the end with the blender.
Yeah.
But short of that, everything seemed pretty feasible. So I like that too because I love horror movies of all kinds, but the ones that sort of are more reality based, like this, or say Eden Lake, those are the ones that I find are more effective because when something can actually happen, that sort of makes it a whole lot scarier.
So I thought it was kind of neat too. I don't know specifically what came first, but it seems like this movie came first as far as the masks, the animal masks, because that made me think of two things. There's this video game called Hotline Miami where it's like a super violent shooting game, but your character puts on an animal mask at the start of the level. And I checked the years, and even though that movie is listed as 2013, it looks like it debuted at the 2011 Toronto Film Festival, so it's actually from 2011, and Hotline Miami's from 2012. So this movie came out first, so I don't know if Hotline Miami, if the guy saw this movie or if it was a coincidence. It was an indie game, so he could have made it in that time. But then the other thing is the Wyatt family from wrestling, where they wore sheep masks, but that wasn't till like 2013, I'm going to say. And I feel like there's a good chance, because wrestling's always behind the times, but Bray Wyatt was less behind the times than most wrestlers. Feels like the kind of movie he probably saw. So I don't know about the Hotline Miami connection, but I bet the Wyatt family from wrestling, probably Bray Wyatt, saw this movie.
Well, there's another movie I have as well called Jackals, and Jackals is about a cult, and some of the cult guys also wear animal masks. So
Yeah, it's not, I'm like interested now. I want to know the history because it just is cool. It just looks cool. It's cool in wrestling. It's cool in Hotline Miami. It's cool in this movie. Like, I don't think that could not be cool. It's just a cool thing.
Yeah, and the setup, I mean, this movie only had a budget of $1 million, and it kind of shows, but at the same time, I'm impressed of what they did with $1 million, because really, the settings are only really two different places and a road. Like, you don't have much beyond that. So, very cheap because they're all in like one or two properties, basically. So they maximize that. I think a lot of the budget went to the physical effects, like the gore and the blood and the violence.
It really is weird, like just as an outsider, not really knowing how it all works, like that it does seem like the budget of movies, it's like it can just be whatever. Like it's incredible how much you can get done with a small amount of money. But if you inflate it, it doesn't always it's not always evident. Like I always think of Kevin Smith's an easy example because he's one of the few people that's really open about how much money all his movies cost. And I remember like Zack and Miri, it was like $26 million or something just because it was a big Hollywood movie with big actors in it. There's no reason for it to be that expensive, and it looks exactly like all of his other movies. It's just like Hollywood just decides how much a movie should be. But if that same movie was $2 million, it would be the same fucking movie, you know? And it's extra neat with horror. Like, I mean, we're never going to get lower than Terrifier. That's insane how low that was. But even this is a very low budget. And what you can get done with those budgets is like remarkable. It's so impressive.
I mean, we keep coming back to Terrifier, but Terrifier is a really good example of what a specific budget can actually do. Because for what was it, like $50,000, less than 50 grand, like they did so much. Like the special effects are fucking phenomenal in that movie, and this one's no different. You know, I mean, the budget of $1 million, far cry from $35 to $55,000, but they seem to maximize what they could do with that money. I think a lot of it was like sort of the settings, because like you had a lot of very ornamental things, like the furniture was all nice and definitely didn't look like it was fabricated specifically for the movie. The weapons were all, with the exception of crossbow, were basic things like, mallets for like flattening poultry, things like that, like knives, axes. They weren't anything like, it wasn't like someone had a special flame throwing chainsaw or something like that.
Yeah. And I did like, even though I was saying how I feel like, the plot side of it is maybe the least fascinating part of it, but it still had some stuff in it that I've never seen before, specifically right at the end. So the main chick, who's like this cool Australian badass who grew up in a survivalist compound, she's the girlfriend of this guy Crispian, who's the little wiener son, one of the little wiener sons of the many wiener sons of this family. And you think that he's just one of the victims till the end. It turns out it was kind of his idea for him and his younger brother to do this, to kill the family so they could get their inheritance money. And I loved when he came back and he realized that she knew what he had done. I just assumed the basic thing would be, oh, I'm so sorry, or he begs for his life or whatever. But instead it was this truly weird conversation that I've never seen quite in a movie, where he, not only is he like trying to lawyer his way out of it, like talk his way through it, he thinks he's going to be able to. He thinks he's going to be able to convince her that this was a good plan and that they can still follow through with the plan and get all the inheritance money. And like, hey, I'm sorry you had to kill so many people and all this stuff happened, but hey, now it'll be cool, right? It's like, it reminded me of like relationship counseling, but with a complete a guy who's so psycho that he doesn't even seem psycho. Like he doesn't realize how insane he even is. And then she just stabs that idiot in the fucking neck, and it's great.
Yeah, I couldn't remember honestly what his fate was. I knew that he died, but I didn't remember if he like had a chance to like maybe grab a hold of her and, throw her around or something like that, because it's been a while since I've seen this. But, the guy didn't get a chance to do one fucking aggressive thing in this movie. Like, he didn't have a chance. Like, his brother picked on him. His girlfriend fucking ended up killing him. Like, it was just great.
Yeah, because I like that he stayed that way, like his little wienerly self the whole way. Like even when he thinks he's on the phone to his brother, but it's actually to his girlfriend, and he's like, "I'm sorry, man. I couldn't do it. I'm a pacifist." Like, what a great little wiener. And yeah, like I kept expecting that turn, that he was gonna like turn on her at the very end, or he'd become frightening. He just never did. He really was just a little idiot, and then he got stabbed, and I just thought that was awesome. Like instead of the villain, that's I guess another thing is that so often the villains are the cool ones. Even though they're the villains, they're the ones that are badass, or at least the ones that have a vision or a plan. Where in this case, the good guy was actually the coolest character. The chick from Australia actually was cool. It's so rare for the good guy to even be interesting, let alone cool. And yeah, in this one, the villains were just, they so deserved their deaths, which is just a good feeling.
But I mean, look at the two youngest brothers. Like one's name was Crispin.
There's Felix and Drake.
Felix is the one. Like, he's the next younger brother, and he actually kills the older brother, who, for all intents and purposes, is the tougher of the three. And he actually kills this fucking guy, and the whole time he's like, I'm sorry, just die. You're making this much harder than it has to be. Like, like, but at least he got his hands actually dirty. Whereas Crispin, he hasn't seen dirty hands, basically, until he saw his girlfriend, who was covered in blood and gore.
Yeah, he literally didn't even stay in the house. He's like, I gotta go escape to go get help. But he really just was escaping so he wouldn't have to be around while everyone died.
He probably just hung out vaping and listening to a podcast.
Yeah, that's what would be funny. I was saying it near the start when the bad guys were more on top of it, that it would be cool to see this movie from the other perspective. And it still kind of would be, to watch like them thinking that their plan is going to work and they've got it all together, and then watch it just unravel, especially as this one survivalist chick slowly kills everybody. But yeah, just cut once in a while to Crispin listening to fucking, I don't even know.
Our podcast.
Yeah, listening to our podcast like a fucking idiot.
There is a movie I have that I bought recently that is actually done from the point of view of the killer. It's called In a Violent Nature. So, nice. And it's Canadian.
Nice. So, well, not nice. That might be a problem, but
no, it's decent. It's decent.
Yeah. Just so you know, I mean, even though we're Canadian, and hey, I like Tim Hortons as much as the next guy, but yeah, we don't like, oh, we got to go see that new Canadian film. That's not a thing.
Yeah, Canadian movies actually suck pretty hard.
Yeah, they're brutal.
Man, You're Next, like, it's good too because there won't be a sequel. You know, if there is, I would be very surprised. But You're Next is a unique movie, and I like it a lot.
It's kind of neat too, because like, even just considering what is going to happen next, like, yeah, you obviously don't need to actually show it, but it's like, yeah, that chick Erin from Australia, it's going to be some legal tape. It's going to be a while, but I mean, she'll be fine ultimately. Like, she'll definitely be exonerated, but it's going to be a fucking weird few months coming up for her, where it's like, how do you explain all this shit?
Well, I mean, if you think about it like that, there's a good chance that she may not be. I mean, yeah, there are the 3 or 4 big hulking dudes who are the killers, like the assassins that were hired, but really, like, the cop that died at the very end because of her booby trap, like, her hands are all over that, like, her prints are all over that stuff. Her prints are all over the knife and her wiener boyfriend's fucking neck and eye, all over the blender. Like, her fingerprints are on a lot of stuff, so chances are legally, they're gonna, I mean, obviously, except for, but how would she prove that she wasn't in cahoots with the dead guys, like the big guys?
Yeah, now that you mention it, I guess this is actually not looking so good. I guess it is better just to leave it up in the air, because like, it's obviously a completely different kind of movie. But I remember there's that movie American Beauty. I read the script once just to, I was going through a period of reading scripts, like in Kill Bill, in the script there's a whole fight that doesn't happen, just stuff like that. So in American Beauty, there was an early version where the daughter and her boyfriend get arrested and thrown in jail for their dad being killed by the next door neighbor, but for Kevin Spacey getting killed. And it's just like, that's not fun. Like, yeah, maybe that is what would happen, but just leave it up in the air, because I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see injustice.
Let everyone have a bad time. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, the sequel is literally just a courtroom drama. Actually, that'd be kind of a weird twist if the second movie in this series was just a courtroom drama of her trying to get out of this fucking situation.
And then the twist is that she definitely doesn't, but enjoys it because she's someone's bitch.
Yeah, that's the double triple twist. No one would see that coming.
Yeah, so we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, because obviously you're listening in one of these places. And we have a Instagram as well, so let me pull up the Instagram information real quick for you. Definitely _not_prison_wallets. And I'm not going to get into the story with that, but yeah, definitely not prison wallets on Instagram.